Don't have AC? Why not escape to the cool, dark oasis that is the movies? Some exciting new films are on deck this summer, and here to share some titles to watch for is Chase Hutchinson, president of the Seattle Film Critics Society and writer of Seattle Movies Daily. Welcome back.
Great to be here.
Okay, I can't wait. We got a lot, so we're going to get right into it. Your first one, The Invite.
Yes, so this is Olivia Wilde's third feature. It was the closing film of SIFT this year, and it stars Wilde, Seth Rogen, Penelope Cruz, Edward Norton, so a star-studded cast set entirely in an apartment where two couples come together to have a dinner party that soon becomes a hellish night for both of them, to where their anxieties come pouring out, their desires. I don't want to give a lot away, but it's one of the most fun movies that I would recommend as a date movie, even as it might test your relationship as much as it's a good bonding experience. It's a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, okay, a lot to unpack there, but it's on my list now if you say it. Number 2, Maddie's Secret.
Maddie's Secret is the feature directorial debut of alternative comedian John Early, where he plays a food influencer alongside Kate Berlant, who you see there, who becomes incredibly famous only to discover that this brings out an anxiety that they have. It's a lot of fun, but it's also an emotionally moving movie. It also stars Washington actor Eric Rahil, who plays Early's husband, a very sweet himbo of a man. And it's also a fun one that also packs a real emotional punch as well.
Okay, and third on your list, The Odyssey.
So this is one I'll confess I haven't seen yet, but I am soon.
I'm glad you confessed, okay.
And the reason it's a notable one is both because it's the biggest blockbuster of the summer and because the SIFT Cinema downtown, formerly the Cinerama, is playing it on 70 millimeter, which is a huge deal for local film folks. And it's one that probably history buffs, lovers of big, epic movies will want to check out because that's kind of the premium way to see it. It stars Matt Damon.
Big stars.
Big stars, lots of big stars. Anne Hathaway, lots of folks all going on this historical epic that will sweep you away.
Okay, Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma.
So this one is one that is known to cinephiles. It's the new film from Jane Schoenbrunn, and it's sort of a deconstruction of horror, centering on Hannah Einbinder's character from Hacks, who is hired to remake a famous horror movie and goes to reconnect with the famous actor from the film, only to discover that they have a deeper connection than she initially realized. It becomes much more about desire, about connection, about identity, in a way that's very liberating and refreshing, and also just very funny. I would say it's a bit of a weird one with lots of fun, flair, blood geysers. It's a good time.
I know, horror and funny, not always like those two together, but okay, I trust you. Next, The Rivals of Amzalia King.
Yes, so this is the new film from Andrew Patterson, which if folks don't know that name, he made this really interesting small sci-fi movie called The Vast of Night a few years ago. This new one stars Matthew McConaughey, who hasn't been in movies for a bit, as well as Kurt Russell, but the real breakout star is Angelina Lookingglass, and she plays his daughter who reconnects with him, begins to discover his world about beekeeping, that then becomes also a crime thriller. It's also a musical, it's a heist film. It's a lot of movie, but it's a really charming, well-made one as well. The art director is John Lavin, who's a local that folks will know.
Awesome.
It's a trip. I would say it's definitely worth going along with.
Okay, you're gonna have to help me on this last one, or the second to last.
Yes, this is Filipiniana, and it's my big international film that I would recommend folks watch. It's set entirely at a golf course, focusing on the workers who welcome in all of the wealthy clientele, and not a blade of grass is wrong, everything is meticulously made, but underneath it there's this growing sense that something is wrong. Something is increasingly growing more tense and unsettling. I don't want to give a whole lot more away from that, but imagine White Lotus, but much more minimalist, but also just very well shot.
It's the cinematography is beautiful.
It is.
Wow, okay, and you have one more for us, and it's called Hope.
Okay, so Hope is the most bonkers movie I've picked. It's a monster movie that I don't want to say a lot about the nature of the monster, but it is a wild ride where this local sheriff, who's way out of his depth, discovers that something has careened through his town, and he's the one that has to stop it. But he bites off way more than he can chew, and the 3+ hours is him trying to figure it out, the community rallying together. It's one of the most entertaining, thrilling movies of the year, and probably my big blockbuster pick.
Oh my God, I know, I saw you light up when you said this. So, okay, I have so many on my list. What are you looking for? Like, what's your criteria for a good film?
I would say that contains multitudes, but during the summer, it's one you can watch with an audience. One that everyone gets swept up in, that you laugh together, you cry together, you gasp together. That's what makes summer movies fun to me, is seeing it in that kind of communal environment.
Absolutely. It's so fun to laugh, to sing. You know, when I think about Wicked, I think about everyone around me singing, and it was a real community experience. So
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, as always, for being here, and what interesting picks.
Thank you so much for having me.